Hello everyone, what's up? It's me again, Junkmaster 3, and I'm finally back with another update video. And this is going to be one weird ass update video because I'm gonna have uh, different formats in this. I mean, it's gonna be DVDs, Blu-rays, VHS, and also a CD soundtrack. So that's just gonna be awesome. So let's begin right away. And I think I'm gonna start with the CD and then the VHS, and then gonna continue on with the DVDs and the Blu-rays. So yeah, first up we're gonna start with this. Let's see here. We have in VHS we have Beastmaster 2. This is the sequel. I have the first one on DVD, but I haven't seen that one yet, and I think the part 2 has never been released on DVD or Blu-ray from what I've heard. I'm not too sure, but this is the Swedish VHS release, and the seller was so kind to me that he actually sent me the film on a bootleg as well. So yeah, that's really amazing. Never seen the sequel to the Beastmaster, and I think there's even a part 3, but I haven't seen that around anywhere. So yeah. And then the next VHS is, I think I might have showed you this before, but Mark of the Beast. This is some shot on video action horror type film from the 80s. That's the main reason why I picked it up, because it sounded really weird and I haven't heard anyone talk about this one before. So yeah, Mark of the Beast from 1986 apparently. So yeah. Now let's see, and then I'm just gonna show you the soundtrack for Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. This is some film which I've really watched quite recently, and also watched the sequel quite recently with one of my friends, and we both really like these films. And I also have the soundtrack to the second one as well. But yeah, there's some great music in these films in general, and yeah, these films I just think more people should discover and watch and enjoy. And I know they're making a third one, and it's gonna come out anytime soon, I believe. I'm not too sure if it's gonna get released over here in Sweden, but I can only hope. I'm gonna give it a chance and see if it's good or not. So yeah, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure soundtrack, really amazing music in that one. Then we're gonna continue on with the DVDs. First up we have first up of the DVDs we have An Eye for an Eye with Chuck Norris. Yeah, early 80s Chuck Norris stuff might be really entertaining. It feels like some of his films are hit or miss, should I say. But one of my favorite ones is probably Lone Wolf McQuade. That's probably one of my favorite Chuck Norris films, along with maybe Delta Force, I believe. So yeah, An Eye for an Eye. Then we have a film which is like a made-for-TV film, and apparently this actually got 2 sequels to it. And I just think it's really weird for like a made-for-TV film to get sequels, because it seems like that doesn't really happen that often. And I think I might have seen this one before on TV actually, but this was years ago and I don't remember anything. But I think it sort of reminded me of the Mummy films in a way, or like the whole setting and the tone to it. And the film is The Librarian. This is the first film called, I think it's just called The Librarian. So if I like this one, I might see if I can find the part 2 and part 3 as well. So yeah, The Librarian. I think that one was alright at least, so if I remember correctly. So, and then again, I can completely just mix it up with some other film. The next film I've watched, and yeah, this is a film I picked up quite recently, and I have watched this, and the film is Interceptor Force. This film was so goddamn bad in my opinion. There was not even really like any so bad it's good type of moments to it. And I mean, I only got myself to blame in this scenario actually. I just wanted to get this because it looked like a really entertaining so bad it's good type of film. And I really love the fact that they actually advertise like Brad Dourif in this film, because Brad Dourif barely shows up at all. He just sits in an office like throughout the entire film, and that was just what I thought it was gonna be. So yeah, Interceptor Force, really terrible film. Don't check this one out unless you're a big fan of Brad Dourif or this guy Oliver Gruner. I'm not really sure how you pronounce his name, but yeah. Then we have another film which I've watched quite recently, which I thought was it wasn't really that good, but I mean it had its moments, so to say. and this film is called CIA, Codename Alexa. This has Lawrence Lamas in it and O.J. Simpson. So when I watched this with my friend, we constantly made like O.J. Simpson jokes about this. So I mean, it had some funny parts in it. The funniest scene in this film is like I think it's in the beginning somewhere when they have like this funeral for this gangster type guy, and the priest just goes nuts when he's with his speech, and I just laughed my ass off in that scene. Yeah, really funny scene. But other than that, it's just your typical generic '90s action film, which it doesn't really stand out or anything. I mean, if you're a diehard Lawrence Lamas fan, go check this one out. But otherwise, just skip it. So yeah. And it feels like I've been mumbling for almost 6 minutes now. I really need to speed up. Then we have a film called Coupe de Ville from the early '90s with what's his name, Patrick Dempsey. Mainly picked this one up because I've heard it's a really good feel-good film. So yeah, Coupe de Ville, never seen, but yeah, sounds interesting. Then we have a film released by Scorpion, film called Force 5. And I think I might be so like completely wrong with this, but this cover art just reminds me of the cover art for what's it called, Zombie 3, also known as Zombie Flesh Eaters 2, which has a very similar type cover art. It's just basically with the same type of hand but with eyes in it, and yeah, I think you all know what cover art I'm talking about. But yeah, this is more like an action film, I've heard. Force 5. This cover art basically just sold me really, and this is from the early '80s, so yeah, might be really entertaining. So yeah, Force 5. Then we have, I think the rest, not all of them, but almost next to everyone and every movie in this next segment of the video is going to be horror films, I believe. So yeah, the next one we have I'm Dangerous Tonight. The main reason why I picked this one up was because it's directed by Tobe Hooper, and it has what's his name? Oh damn! I just completely forgot his name now. Anthony Perkins is in this one. That's another reason why I decided to pick this one up. And to be honest, I only heard really bad things about it. But then again, I'm like, okay, it's Tobe Hooper and it's Anthony Perkins, might be good, so I'm gonna give it a chance anyway. So yeah, I'm Dangerous Tonight. Then we have a film which this was part of a box set before, I believe, which I really wanted to get, and I realized that I had every film in that box set except for this one. So I'm really glad that I finally found this film, and the film is called Plaguetown. Pretty much a blind buy. Other than that, the main reason why I picked it up was because I just knew that it was in that box set that I had, and most of those films in that box set I really enjoyed. So yeah, this was the only one that I had missing from that box set. So yeah, Plaguetown. Then we have some early 2000s slasher film called Hell's Highway. I think this came out somewhere around the same time as another film which had the exact same title. So this is the film directed by S. Lee Taylor, not to be confused with that other film with Phoebe Doll or whatever her name is. She was also in that film called Goth, I believe. So that's not this film. This is the film from the director S. Lee Taylor. So yeah, Hell's Highway. And then let's see here. Over here we have some more DVDs. We have a Western film called Ride the Whirlwind. The main reason why I picked this one up was because it has Jack Nicholson and Cameron Mitchell in it. So that sounded like a really interesting mix of actors in it. So yeah, Ride the Whirlwind. I think I'm actually going to do something like this so you can see a little bit better, hopefully. Ride the Whirlwind, yeah. And then, let's see, continue on with another Western film called Storm Rider with none other than Lee Van Cleef. Pretty much a blind buy. The main reason was it's a Western film and it has Lee Van Cleef in it. Then we have another Western with Charlton Heston and James Coburn called The Lost Hard Men. Apparently it takes place somewhere in the end of the whole Western era, about these two men who are basically sworn enemies. And yeah, Lost Hard Man. Never seen before, but seems interesting. Then a 70s gangster film called Dillinger. This has, what's his name? I think Harry Dean Stanton is in this one. That's one of the main reasons why I picked it up. So yeah, Dillinger. Then finally I picked up the latest film in the Sniper series called Sniper Assassin's End. So now I have all of the Sniper films. This came out this year. Unfortunately, I only had heard bad things about it, but then again, I'm a big fan of the Sniper films in general. I mean, they're not really any masterpieces or anything, but they're like good fun and good entertainment. So yeah, Sniper Assassin's End. Let's see here. Then we have a film by Don Bluth, which I haven't heard that many people talk about this one, but I think I might have seen this one when I was a kid, so that's the main reason why I picked it up. So, and the film is called A Troll in Central Park. Yeah, I've heard it's not really any of his better films, but then again, Don Bluth is always Don Bluth, and yeah, I prefer him over the new Disney garbage. So yeah. Then we have a film by a director who I have not been a that big fan of, to be honest, but I'm like, okay, this might be something that I actually might enjoy. And the film is called MS or MS-45. This is like a rape and revenge type film, and some of those films can be really entertaining to watch, especially the whole revenge part, or most of the time are really entertaining. So yeah, I think I might have had this one before, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, apparently it was banned back in the, oh my god, sorry for my hiccups. It was apparently banned back in the day, so yeah, we'll see how it holds up. Then we have a film that got recommended to me by one of my friends, and the film is called A Prayer Before Dawn. Yeah, mainly picked it up because one of my friends that recommended it to me, and yeah, I've heard it's supposed to be a really good prison film in general. So, and I've always been a big fan of prison films. So yeah, can't go wrong with that. Then we have a film which I mainly picked up because the plot sounded really entertaining, and it seems to be one of those 80s, like throwback 80s type films. And the film is called We Summon the Darkness. Yeah. Just gonna try to speed up, but yeah. Then we have a film which has, I think it has so damn many titles, to be honest. And I think this is known as the Golden Glove. That's like the international title for this film. And if you recognize that guy on the front cover, you already know what type of film I'm talking about. And because I think many people have talked about this one quite recently. So yeah, I think it's known as the Golden Glove. So yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure. I think that might have been based on true events or something, but I can be so wrong about that. Then we have a film called Berlin Syndrome. Pretty much a blind buy, but I'm like, okay, might be entertaining. Then we have an Australian horror film, I believe. Yeah, Australian. Takes place out in the wilderness, and that's a theme that I really like about horror films, when it takes place out in the wilderness or out in like a big forest or something like that. And the film is called Killing Ground. This cover art, though, is really boring in my opinion, but then again, the film itself might be entertaining, so totally worth it if that's the case. Then we have another Takashi Miike film. I really need to get back to Takashi Miike because I haven't seen any of his films in quite a while. So yeah, and the film is called First Love. Yeah, apparently, I mean, I know he's made a whole lot of those Yakuza type films in general, so yeah. Then we have this one I mainly picked up just because it was released by Studio S, and Studio S usually release really entertaining and interesting type films. So yeah, and the funny thing is, after I picked this one up, this movie went out of print, which I thought to be really interesting. But I'm really lucky to get it if it's good. And the film is called The Hollow. I know it's looks like some sort of ghost type film, but I've heard good things about it, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it a chance. And then finally I picked up the last film in the Resident Evil franchise, and I remember, yeah, we have it right here. And I remember I watched this in the cinemas, and the thing is, when I sat in the cinemas with my friends when we watched this, I had this loud, I mean, the speaker they had in that cinema, I just sat next to that, and I had no idea about that. So I had like this big ass speaker right in my right ear, and that was constantly just bugging me because it was so damn loud. So I pretty much had to hold for my ears not to get damage to my ears. So yeah, no, that sounds really stupid, but that's just a memory from this film. The film itself is not really the greatest. I mean, it's still much better than Retribution and Afterlife. I mean, Retribution is still okay, but Afterlife is such a terrible, terrible film. So, I mean, in comparison to that, this film is really good. So, if that even says anything. But yeah, Resident Evil, the final chapter. Something tells me they're not. That this is not going to be the final chapter. And then we end it with the Blu-rays. Once again, a Western film. I've really gotten more and more into these Western films. This film is directed by none other than Peter Fonda. The film is called The Hired Hand. Never seen before, but Peter Fonda, I think he knows what he's doing. So yeah, I'm gonna trust him with this one. Then we have, I think this, I'm not sure if this is like an action film or a horror film. I've heard it's both, but some sort of, might be, yeah, I think it's a blaxploitation film, a film called JD's Revenge. Once again, I have a soft spot for some of those 70s films, 70s blaxploitation films in general, so yeah, JD's Revenge. And the last film for this update, I've almost been talking for 17 minutes now, so I'm just gonna try to speed up. The next and last film for this update video is a film called Night Owl with what's his name? Jean Leguizamo. I can never pronounce his name, but yeah, he's the main star in it. And apparently, I think this is also shot in black and white, which is really interesting because this was made in 1993. So yeah, and this is a Vinegar Syndrome release. So I'm really glad to finally have this movie in my collection because this is a film I've been wanting to see for quite a while. So yeah, Night Owl. Sorry. Now, sorry for mumbling for almost 18 minutes now, but yeah, I'll do my best to try to keep it short. And yeah, hope you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you again as soon as possible. So see you next time. Bye bye.